The topic of the lesson is a place to live, reading, true, false. It means that today we are going to read the text about life on board the International Space Station and do some task on true, false. And at the end of the lesson, you will be able to find details in a text about the International Space Station. So, first of all, let's read the text.
Life on board the International Space Station. At 6:41 p.m. this Thursday, a small bright light will appear low in the night sky before disappearing in the darkness. Few people will notice, and even fewer will care, but for a handful of people, that light on the horizon is a place called home. What looks like a wandering star in the heavens is sunlight reflecting off the International Space Station. To get to the space station takes 2 days. The station flies at an altitude of about 350 kilometres, that's more than 30 times the cruising height of a jumbo jet, and travels at an incredible 28,000 kilometres per hour. In total, the living space on the station is the equivalent of roughly 1.5 Boeing 747s. This living space is made up of different modules built by Russians, Americans and other nations. There are 16 solar panels attached to the station, and they provide electrical power. The space station has a permanent crew of 6. Although they have some training in how to live in weightlessness, when they first arrive on board the ISS, they take a while to get used to living without gravity, crashing into things as they try to move from one room to another. In time, people learn to fly down the length of the station without touching anything. As they live so close together, personal hygiene is essential, but the weightless conditions make washing difficult. Many astronauts use moist wipes. Hair washing is trickier. Sunita Williams, who spent 195 days on the space station, explains how she managed. Washing hair took time. I'd put a little water under my hair, pat it down with my hand so it wasn't splashing everywhere, then put some shampoo in my hand and move it around. Then I'd wet a towel and try to soak it up. It takes the space station 1.5 hours to fly around the planet, meaning that it circles the globe 16 times a day. For those on board, the visual effect is spectacular. If the covers on the windows are opened, the light can be so blinding that astronauts reach for their sunglasses. But after 45 minutes of daylight, a dark line appears on the planet, dividing Earth into night and day. For a couple of seconds, the space station is bathed in light, which is a coppery colour, and then complete darkness. Another 45 minutes later, the sun rises to fill the station with brilliant light again. The short days and nights would disrupt the astronauts' body clocks, so a bedtime schedule is imposed by mission controllers. The crew are told when to put the shutters down on the windows and go to bed. Each of the crew has a cabin where they can attach a sleeping bag to the wall and settle down for the night. Unsurprisingly, falling asleep can be difficult. Just as you are nodding off, the lack of gravity can make you feel as though you've fallen off a 10-story building. In place of an alarm clock, sleeping crews are woken by music played over the communication system controlled by staff on the ground. When astronauts first arrive at the space station, they're in awe of the views. It is the sight of our planet that takes the breath away. On board, you can get a panoramic view of Earth. But for the really exceptional views, you need to step outside for a spacewalk. One astronaut describes the experience. Sometimes you feel that you are on this big flying building and it's going round the world, but most commonly you feel that someone is rolling this huge ball-shaped map beneath you. You have no feeling of motion. Those who have visited the space station can look at it shooting across the sky at night. They can imagine the astronauts in their sleeping bags and think, "My goodness, I was there."
Think about the next task. Read the article and are the statements true or false? Ви прослухали статтю, перечитали її. Скажіть, чи твердження правдиві, чи неправдиві. Here you can check your answers. Number 1. Hardly anybody bothers to look out for the International Space Station, ISS. That's true. 2. Astronauts get used to weightless conditions before they go on the ISS. False. 3. Lack of gravity prevents astronauts from using fresh water to wash themselves, and that's false. 4. Transition from daytime to nighttime lasts a few minutes. False. 5. Attaching sleeping bags to the wall solves the problem of falling asleep, and that's false. 6. Spacewalkers can't sense the speed at which the space station is flying around the world, and that's true. Now, put the words and phrases in blue from the article under the appropriate heading. So we have such words: reflecting, moist, splashing, wet, soak up, blinding, bathed in light, sleeping back, settle down, nodding off, alarm clock. We have 3 columns: light, water, sleep. The first word that suits or that can go to the column light is reflecting. Think about the other words. Here you can check your answers. Well, light. We can include here such words and phrases like blinding, осліплення, осліплений, and bathed in light, купатися у світлі, скупаний у світлі, можна так перекласти. Water. Water, сюди ми віднесемо moist, splashing, wet and soak up. Moist означає вологий. Splashing – сплескувати. Wet – мокрий. Soak up – вбирати вологу. So it means that all these phrases and words are connected with water. And column 3 is sleep. We include in this column such phrases like sleeping bag, nodding off, settle down, alarm clock. Sleeping bag – спальний мішок. Nodding off – кидаючи. Settle down – оселитися, заселитися. Alarm clock – будильник. The next task is complete the questions with the correct form of a word or a phrase from the table. We have 8 questions. У нас є 8 питань. And we have some word and phrases. In blue. Blinding, bathed in light, moist, splashing, wet, soak up, sleeping bag, nodding off, settle down, alarm clock. Put these words and phrases in the correct gap in the questions. Поставте ці слова, фрази у правильне питальне речення в пропусках. Now let's check the answers. Question 1. What does it look like when the sun lights reflecting off the ISS? Question 2. What do the astronauts use moist wipes for? Moist wipes – це вологі серветки. Question 3. How do the astronauts soak up the water and shampoo after washing their hair? Question 4. What do the astronauts wear when the light is blinding? Question 5. What color light is the ISS based in when day turns into night? Question 6. Where do the astronauts attach their sleeping bags when they go to bed? Question 7. What sensation do the astronauts get just as they are nodding off? Question 8. What is used to wake the astronauts up in place of an alarm clock? Read the article again and answer the questions. Прочитайте ще раз статтю і дайте відповіді на ці 8 питань у зошиті. Well, and the answers are: Question 1, the answer is a wandering star in the heavens. The answer to question 2 is washing. The answer to question 3 is with a wet towel. Question 4, the answer is sunglasses. Number 5, coppery. Number 6, to the wall of their cabins. Number 7, the sensation of falling off a 10-story building. And number 8, the answer is music played by staff on the ground. Next task is working with the phrases and words, prepositions at, on, in. Complete the diagram with these prepositions, then listen, check and repeat. Доповніть ці таблички. Замість 1, 2, 3 вам треба вставити прийменники at, on або in. Після того прослухайте і повторіть. І перевірте. Check your answers, please. So we usually say like this.
One. On board. On each floor. On the horizon. 2. At an altitude of. At 28,000 kilometers per hour. At least. 3. In a hurry. In awe of. In time. In the night sky.
That's all for today. Bye.